Let's have some fun here.
Angel, last year at the Final Four, I remember you saying you needed Kim Mulkey in your life. Do you still feel that way today, and why or why not?
I'm going to say that today, tomorrow, next year, to the day I die, and that's just how I feel. And I'm at LSU because of Kim Mulkey, and that's how I feel.
How did it feel to be back on the floor?
It felt great. I mean, it was a long 2 weeks, or a week and a half, 2 weeks, to be away from the team. Taking time to yourself is really important. I feel like that's just something that was important, and resetting and refocusing within the team. I'm just happy to be back, and this place was amazing tonight, and I'm just happy to be here with them. I want people to realize that I'm not just an athlete. I'm a human too. I go through things. We all go through things. And just being able to have so many people that were super supportive to me in this past week and a half really showed me a lot and who really cares for me. And when you up, everybody love you. When you down, you see who really love you. So just being able to have such supportive people that were here for me and through a tough time for me was really important.
I love that. Welcome back, Angel Reese, and also welcome Subria Whitaker to Ladies First Friday. So happy to have you on. I loved what Angel said, that she's not just an athlete, but that she's human, right? And we've been talking about Angel for the past couple of weeks, ever since the initial benching and then the absence. And something that I have been steadfast about, Subria, and I still am, is the fact that she needed to be protected in terms of any messaging around her because of how she's already depicted in the media. And I didn't think her coach did the best job of that. We don't have to go through all of that right now at this moment, but she spoke highly of Kim Mulkey, but I just hope she's okay, and I want her to be good. And so when she says, I'm human, I'm glad she said that, because I want the media and people who discuss these athletes to remember that she's human. So what did you make of her comments and just her return last night, Subria?
I mean, I'm glad that she was back. It was definitely great to see her, and at least to see her in positive spirits, and even commenting as much as she did, right? Because a lot of the conversation around the entire situation has been, we need more, what's going on? So I'm glad that she was able to at least take control of the narrative there. But I will just say, look, we talk a lot. We all have our opinions. But if she feels like, Kim Mulkey handled the situation, hey, if she like it, I love it. And I think maybe more people should, kind of take that approach when it comes to stuff like this.
For sure. And we're going to talk about Kim Mulkey in a little bit. But, I thought her comments, like sort of referencing her mental health, essentially needing to take some time, were interesting. What did you make of that, Kelsey?
First off, I have to say, I love everything that Angel Reese said. I felt like the accountability was there. And like Subria said, she took that narrative and she took it back and owned it, which I think was so important for her at this stage of her life. But like you said, she said she's human. Like the rest of us, things happen. And it seems like whatever happened, that you can tell it was a growing period for her, a learning period for her. And then, she also referenced her coach, though, saying like, it doesn't matter what happened. Like, our love is still there. But I think it was also a period of growth for her, seeing that, like, not everybody's going to cheer you on when things aren't going well. And I think she really saw that. She's been at such high highs for a young girl. And, I've seen a lot of glories that most people won't even see in life, the covers, the award shows. But then all of a sudden you get to a low, and that you get back on social media and you see people starting to change their tune. And so I think for Angel Reese, she's really seeing probably a smaller circle is better. And let me give props to LSU too as well, because nothing leaked out. And I've worked in college athletic departments. That is not always the case. So you can tell like her relationship with them is very close knit, because again, nothing leaked out. All we heard was from Kim Mulkey and us as media. And like Subria said, though, I think, if Angel's happy and she seems like she's in a good place, like I love how she walked into the press conference room, like, bring it on, give me the questions. And, I think us as media, then we can leave that there. Doesn't mean we won't still pry, but it seems like Angel's in a good place, no matter our personal opinions of whatever relationship we see from the outside that she has going on with Coach.
For sure. And one of her cheerleaders was Shaq. She also spoke a lot about him during the presser, him letting her know that, this too shall pass, and giving her words of encouragement and kind of checking her when he needed to check her. And but just still providing that support. He told me when I was right. He told me when I was wrong. And I know he's going to call me after the game if he hasn't already. So it sounds like she has a good support system around her. And that's all I want to see. I just want to see Angel protected and the right people around her. So I was happy to see that. And in general, I was happy to see LSU get the win, because in general, I feel like the team collectively is being a little disrespected. They were number 1 ranked coming into the season, which feels right to me, but they had a bad first loss. And then they've won every game since then. And I get it that they've played a lot of unranked teams, but they've won every game since then. But their ranking, they've shifted to 7. And in general, it's just been like, oh, like, well, now they're contenders again. Like, people are like, oh, they're contenders again after last night. But I stopped thinking that LSU could contend while I was watching them without Angel Reese, and even in every game after the first game. So I was happy to see them get the win. And I'm sure, Subria, you are happy about Aneesah Morrow, because that is your girl. So why don't you just tell me why you're so excited for her?
Yes, Aneesah T. Morrow, because that girl is money, okay? Niece Nation, it's our time. Stand up. Like, I'm so happy that she is getting her shine on the call last night. I think maybe Rebecca Lobo said that, she's proved her case that she can dominate when Angel Reese is away, but she can also dominate when she's here. And I just want to be clear. There was never any doubt in my mind about Aneesah Morrow. Like, people really have to stop playing with her and put some respect on her and everything that she's done. Like, she's been the double queen. I think a lot of concern from fans has been, well, why was she even coming off the bench? And I think what really, was the question about LSU wasn't necessarily about their team and if they were contenders, but if their coaches could utilize them properly and get lineups that could get results. And I think when you have so many powerful people and you see, well, why is this person coming off the bench versus this person, right? You're kind of nervous about, well, yeah, they have the pieces, but do they know how to play them? So I'm just really happy that she got to play. She got to show with people, everyone what she's about. I really better never see her coming off the bench again. That's just me. But yes, super happy that, Aneesah is getting this shine in a bigger market, because I think she was definitely a little disrespected and undervalued at DePaul.
Yeah, and Kelsey, look at this right now. If you could keep that board up, please. But like her splits, and in terms of like how she performed. And so in the first 4 games, Angel Reese is there. She was coming off the bench earlier, and then look at, the games without Angel, her minutes upticked. But then last night versus Virginia Tech, she stayed high with the minutes, points. They came down a little bit. You understand that because Angel Reese came back, but look at her, just still outstanding numbers from her. And she said, like, once her and Angel Reese figure it out, it's going to be scary. And I don't like the whole scary hours thing or whatever, but it's, what do you think about that?
I love this. And Subria hit on it. Prior, I used to cover DePaul when I was a Big East Digital Network sideline reporter. And there's been some ballers that come out of DePaul. But I think Subria hit the nail on the head. It's a smaller market and people aren't really watching that squad. And now, thanks to the new transfer rule, people can really go, I think, and shine where they want to shine. But, going to LSU, it's not easy. Like you said, you know what you're going into. All the ballers they have on that squad. But she's been able to find a place for herself. And in a good way, like you said, where it seems like her and Angel Reese are able to coexist, both shine as they did last night and win together. And I think that's what Kim Mulkey is going to need from this squad if they want to get back to a championship, which we know they can do with the players on this team. And so I think she's going to be one important piece. And remember, this is not a full LSU team. We have some folks missing. And so the fact that she's been able, especially to step up, and then again, Angel Reese being inserted back, she's been able to play basketball her way. I think it was so underrated when she was going to LSU. I think not enough folks were talking about it, but now she's showing y'all missed out and y'all need to be watching me. So I love this moment for her. And if she can keep playing at this level, and again, barring no injury, hopefully, I think that she's going to be very special and a great piece, especially on the boards. This team is going to be hard to beat, as you said, Nat, especially as we start to get into more contentious play. And I'm excited to see when they come to my part in Baltimore, when Angel Reese comes home for a big homecoming. Everybody here is looking at that December 20th date, Nat.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, last night was a big night for so many reasons. It was a big night for Kim Mulkey too. 700 wins. First, fastest to get there. So, look, I want to be clear that, at least me, I'm going to speak for myself, that I don't question Kim Mulkey's coaching ability. Like, she's proven, herself. Her resume is what it is. She can coach. We know that. But when people like myself and others have been critical of her, and already, like, coming into the show today, there were people in the BFA mentions like, oh, look at what Angel said last night. Y'all know better though, right? Like, well, some of Kim's former players don't have this same opinion of her. Some of them have spoken out about her, right? So, like, look, I understand why, there are certain players who would support her, but like, look at this here, this is Anscape. They did a really great piece kind of outlining some of the history. But after LSU's star forward Angel Reese missed her second straight game, she described it as a family environment, but she wasn't acting like it was a family environment. She says, I'm going to protect my players always. They're like family. They're like my children. I didn't love that she said that. You don't need to know what's going on. And then she, just in general, like, her commentary is cryptic, and that's how people were referring to it. But they point out the reason why Reese has been absent from the floor. So I just thought Anscape did a really good piece, because they're just basically saying, like, look, there's a history of Kim. It starts with Brittany Griner. And you have to ask, why would players continue to play for Kim Mulkey? And that was the question that Anscape ended that with. And so, Subria, can you tell us why players continue to play for Kim Mulkey? Because, like, for someone like Alexis Morris, I understand why she would defend Kim Mulkey, right? Kim Mulkey gave Alexis Morris a second chance. And if you know about her off-court stuff and how she bounced around, I get it. Someone gives you another chance in a program and you're going to be loyal to them. But Brittany Griner did a lot for Kim Mulkey, and Kim Mulkey doesn't seem to care about that. So can you shed a little bit more light? Because people think we're just hating on Kim on this show, but you're so well versed in this space. I'd like you to kind of talk about why people are so critical of Kim Mulkey and how she is with her players.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even, amongst the Brittany Griner situation, when she came out with her book, In My Skin, and there were some criticisms from her about Kim Mulkey asking her to kind of keep her sexuality to herself and not really be so upfront about it, because it might affect recruiting back when she was at Baylor and Baylor University, having a strong stance on homosexuality to the point where, they released a statement and made a rule about it. And that being such a huge part of who she is, she felt hurt by it. She used the word pain. And there were even some, reports after the book came out and conversations were being had where I think her father alleged that after they lost, that last game, she didn't hear from Kim Mulkey again. And so, like you said, you have people like Alexis Morris, who maybe that type of, coaching or love or lack thereof works. But it doesn't for everybody. And so when you are in a position to give something to your coach or provide something for them, the rules are going to be different. Let's start there. Let's be real. Every coach is not treating every player the same. And so we don't really know what happened with Angel Reese's situation. Honestly, like, we want to give her the benefit of the doubt. But for all we know, maybe the allegations that it was academic were more favorable for her. And so maybe it was more beneficial or in her best interest to let that slide and not actually say anything. I personally don't agree. Like, that's not in my book of, PR 101. That's not how I would, handle that situation. But it could have been beneficial to her. I mean, when Anissa decided to choose LSU, obviously I was hurt that she was leaving DePaul. And, there are a lot of people who were like, well, why does she have to go there? What can she gain? That's an individual question. I think when you have such a small window in the NCAA space to even have your name brought up in conversations about the next level or the WNBA or endorsements, unfortunately, they have to go where it's hot right now. I think LSU is hot right now. And I think that is what has been working in Kim Mulkey's benefit. Like, if you're someone who believes all press is good press, then LSU and any Kim Mulkey program is the program for you, if you can, make it beneficial. But we're not going to sit here and talk about, Brittany Griner and Angel Reese and not also talk about other players who are not there and truly believe that she's acting in everyone's benefit when there are still questions around other players who are not there. And then media is met with, well, you shouldn't criticize me because I've always given you an interview. I don't like that. I think it's not a mutually beneficial relationship. And I just don't like that.
I didn't like it either. And I thought she did a straw man where she said, like, personal attacks. You're criticizing me because I didn't answer a question the way you wanted. No, that's not why you were being criticized. First of all, you have a condescending tone with the media. Let's be
problematic.
clear. So you're very antagonistic with them. And then it's like they're just doing their job by asking. So we get it. If you can't answer and you can't reveal things, that's fine. But it's the tone in which you say it. It's the way that you deliver it. And then you get on your soapbox and say you're trying to protect Angel, but the way you're answering the questions led people to speculate about Angel and run rampant. So that's why I say I don't think you were protecting Angel. Yes. Kelsey, I want to give you the last word on this.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I put a tweet out and I feel like almost went viral, people coming to me, but because I said this, when you don't say anything, you allow people to create their own narrative and go with it and spin it in any way, shape, or form. And people keep telling me, Kelsey, no, that's how you protect your family. No, if somebody said something about your child that was incorrect, your job as a parent, in my personal opinion, is to correct that. You would never want anything malicious or anything or any slander that could hurt your child out there. She had an opportunity to do so, and she chose to stay quiet, leaving Angel Reese to have to fend for herself in a world where she's been having to do that for so long, right? Dating back to last season. So to me, it's been interesting to follow, but I thought the approach that she took was not the right approach. Again, if you're trying to create a family environment in which players can feel welcome and honestly feel safe with you as their coach.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much, Subria Whitaker. Always a pleasure having you on. Thank you for all the knowledge you bring to the show. Happy holiday, my soror. We will be back.
Bye.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.